Now let's talk about how to use a summary block. Okay, for this summary block, this is specifically if you want to pull information from your blog or from your e-commerce shop where you're selling things. So to insert it, you're going to click the plus icon, you're going to click the summary block, and you're going to notice that Squarespace is automatically going to put some stuff in here to kind of fill it up until you select a page. So by selecting a page, you're connecting with either your blog or with your shop. And it's important for you to actually already have that stuff published in order for it to be able to show up here. So for example, this little pen icon means that this is coming from a blog. This little blocks icon means it's coming from a shop. But you can go ahead and click into it and you'll see that your stuff will populate here. Next, we have our primary metadata. This is like the information below the picture and how it is shown, right? So I can click to where it says none. I can have the category. I can have tags. I can have the author. I can have anything that I want here, or I can display none of it at all. Filtering items allows you to be able to show featured only. So featured only, for every blog post or for every item that you create in your store, you can choose to have it featured. Maybe it's your bestseller, maybe it's your most read, and you want to display only those prominent items, you can do that here. If you have if you have certain blogs or products under a certain category, so maybe you just have men's tops, or if you have women's bottoms or shoes as a category, then you can select that here, so it's only going to display things from those categories. Similarly with tags, right? So if you have blue, white, red, if you have any of those smaller, more granular tags that you want to be able to display and just specifically pull that content, you can do that by choosing the tags here. Next, we have design, and design is going to be really similar to your gallery block. So wall displays all of the pictures, and if they're different sizes, it's going to display them each in their different size, which is fine. You can choose how many items you want to display, right? So if you want to display 3, 4, 5, whatever, you can display them all here. You can center align or left align the text. I recommend left align, especially if you have more stuff. Here's where we can also choose which elements we have. So maybe you don't want the featured image to show. You can take that out. Maybe you don't want the excerpt to show. You can take that out. Maybe you want a read more link so that people can click it to read more. That's going to populate that up here. So for metadata, this is like what all the stuff we were just talking about. If we want it below the content, so the content being the pictures, we click here. If we want it above, or if we want it above the title, we can put it up there, right? Size and spacing, this is where column width is how big the actual stuff is, right? And then gutter width is how much space is in between each of the actual images. So if we want less, we can bring it to where they're all right next to each other. If we want more, we can bring it to where it's way wide. Now let's talk about the other different design options. So with Carousel, it's going to display them, and it's also going to have this toggle feature so that I can go left or right to display different ones, right? I can change the aspect ratio, so maybe I want to have them all display in a square. I can do that. Or whatever I chose for my actual picture, right? The text, I can change it if I want it to be small, medium, or large. Featured, again, this is like what we want at the top left-hand side. So now on sale, or most read blog post. And again, there's just more content and ways that we can style it. You'll notice that for each one of these different designs, there's different things that you can customize. So some designs have more customization ability than others. Next is a list. It's going to display everything on either the left or the right or in the center. You can change how you want it to display, right? But ultimately, this is just going to stack things one on top of the other. Then lastly, we have the grid. The grid is if all of these pictures have different sizes, it's going to choose one size for all of them, right? So if I have pictures of all different sizes, I can choose to have them all display in 3:2 ratio or back to my 1:1 ratio, right? So it's just going to standardize that so it's more like a brick, more like it's a stacking block than it is like all these different artsy type of looks with different sizes, right? So it's a little bit more clean, a little bit more uniform. Remember, this is just part of our 4-course series. You can find the full courses all linked up in the description box below. Let's put the art back into content marketing. I'll see you on the next video.